When we return to our planet, the High Court may well sentence you to torture.
He likes movies, we like movies. Septum Sin versus the world. 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 I'd buy that for $1.
Greetings! You're watching Septum Sin versus the World. I'm Septum Sin. This is Kotobuki Jake.
Hey.
And we'll show you what we got.
Show me what you got. I want to see what you got. Oh boy.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we picked up some fun stuff. We're
Yep.
actually on the countdown to number 100. We are at number 99 today.
It's the final countdown.
So next week we are going to be doing a massive episode. We've asked our friends, and two of them have sent us some pictures. So we're going to be. We've asked a couple more of our friends, and I'm hoping to get some shots from them as well.
Okay.
So we're going to do a nice little thing there. We're going to do a couple of skits. We're going to talk about what makes this channel a fun channel.
Yes.
And what other people think is probably that we're not so fun. But for those of you subscribed, I am glad you're here. And with that being said, before we go on, be sure to check out the description below. There is a GoFundMe for the Kyoani fire that Sentai had set up in order to try and support them in this time of need. It's always good to try and support your fellow man when bad things happen, and they did have a lot of bad happen. Many injured, many dead. It is a sad thing. We lost a lot of talent that day.
Yeah.
So speaking of, we'll start with some anime. And this one is not a Kyoani product.
Good one.
This is a letter. It was a letter to Momo.
Yes.
And I have seen this one. Not this copy, but well, obviously. And it's essentially about this girl who can see these demons. And a lot of these demons start appearing, especially these three.
And we're not talking the Western concept of demons. We're talking like, kind of like house spirit sort of things.
And they definitely cause trouble, that is for sure. And it's a fairly decent film. It's not the greatest animated feature. It might not make an appearance on the next one. Who knows? Maybe it will. It might make an appearance on one we have
The
later
next
this
one
week.
being our wonderful
Top
best
10.
animated film list. Notably, this is a film from the director of Jinro the Wolf Brigade. It's a very different film.
And a very highly acclaimed one, too.
Yes.
I got a nice edition of that.
Yeah.
So with that being said, that is all I have to say about that.
Yes. That, as they say, is that. So, my first one, I actually have a handful of Blu-rays sitting around on my shelf that are unopened, unwatched, brand new release that I had not presented yet. And I decided to bring one. I will have a theme, and it is an anime theme, but this film is not anime. It is, however, partially animated. And there's my Blu-ray release, the 25th anniversary edition of Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Famed Robert Zemeckis film from the 80s. Bob Hoskins, Christopher Lloyd. I think I had this on DVD. I don't remember.
I know I have it on DVD.
It took me forever to get the damn thing in the first place. But when I found this, I don't remember exactly when, where, or how I got this. But I'm almost certain... No, wait, it's Walmart. So I was wrong. I was going to say Best Buy. It was Walmart. I'm almost certain it was in the $5 bin.
Release. That's the DVD release.
Yeah.
It's actually a pretty cool looking release.
Very good. But this one, look at this, though. That is a lot of friggin' bonus features there. I love that. That's a lot of bonus features. So, this is a pretty good pickup, and I am looking forward to seeing that one again. I've seen it a few times over the years. It's a fun movie.
Oh, it's well worth
classic.
having.
Yep.
Yeah, you can see that one's also pretty.
Oh yeah.
Might actually be just a transfer.
You actually probably have more than I do on there. Oh, I like that.
It's a
nice,
really cool.
Yeah.
It's a really cool version. I knew I'd gotten one like this.
Mhm.
It's. Of course, I'm stuck over here.
Okay.
But
And
I'm just gonna put
incidentally,
this over here.
like I said, I think this is a conversion. This is actually going to be a theme this week. I have multiple conversions. It's strange.
So my next one is one that came from my early anime. I didn't talk about this one because, again, I was trying to, when we got to the second video, was trying not as much to just hit every stop, but to hit the ones that meant a lot. And this one was one that I hit during my sci-fi anime watching time, and that is 8-Man After. It's sort of a RoboCop thing because it's about a guy who ends up basically dying. Criminals kill him, and he gets reincarnated as a cyborg. It's actually pretty fun. I enjoyed it, what I saw of it. I'm looking forward to seeing it again, reliving some of my youth. I was a teenager last time I saw this, so we'll see how it holds up over the time.
Okay. So, here is where I hit my theme. We will have a video coming up later this week. Tune in. It will be awesome. And this is where we will prevent it. We will prevent our attention. We will present our takes on the 10 best anime features ever released. And we are, of course, talking actual films, TV films, standalone specials, but basically the best anime films ever released. Some of these films may make an appearance on that list, and some will not. These were the 4 that I picked up as part of my homework for this. Unfortunately, I did not get to 2 of them. One is a film I have seen before, and one is a film I have not. But the first 2 I'll present are ones I watched in preparation for our video. And the first of these is one of the films that put Hayao Miyazaki on the map, and the film on whose back Studio Ghibli was founded, and that is Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind. Excellent, excellent film. Truly excellent film. Co-produced by Isao Takahata. I think Toshio Suzuki was involved, but not as directly. The 3 of them, of course, went on to produce Ghibli with the success of this as part of their... And, of course, the American releases have always lumped this in with, Studio Ghibli films. It's really not, but it feels like it.
It might
really,
as well be. I mean,
it
it's
might as
one
well
that
be.
started them off.
And this is notable as by far, I think it's not a stretch to say this, because I generally hate the genre. Well, I won't say hate, but don't like the genre. This is probably easily my favorite post-apocalyptic film. Because it really is a post-apocalyptic film. It takes place way in the future, in a world that has been destroyed by pollution. And Nausicaa is the princess of a peaceful clan that lives in the Valley of the Wind. And the wind keeps their valley clean and pure, and not... There's a... What do they call it? The toxic swamp or whatever that's spreading all over the world. And, of course, a nearby country that is much more militaristic becomes involved and tries to dominate the valley. They try to take them over for their own good. So this is a film that gets into the issues of occupation, of what am I trying to say? An occupying force. It gets into the issues of environmentalism in a way that a lot of films shy away from. It's a nice action film. I honestly think this is one of the most Pixar-ish films Ghibli has ever done. Well, again, not really Ghibli, but you know what I mean. Very much worth a watch. And I was converting this. I had it on DVD. Now I have a nice, small, slim package with some extra bonus features.
Well, the next one I have is a part of a series, and that is Ruby.
Ah,
Everybody knows Ruby.
I know of it.
This is the one by Rooster Teeth. Their take on an anime, all computer generated. I don't know much about it other than it is a action series with these particular women, these 4 women that make up the fighting force, and I've yet to see an episode.
And they're very particular.
And I've seen, this is the 5th volume of it. There's a 6th volume that's being released. So, again, I'm still behind. But they're not that expensive, so I'm hoping to finish the series. I thought when one of the lead creators died on it that they were going to be done with it, but I guess not.
One of them, let's see, which one is Ruby? Like, I know Ruby herself is very popular as a cosplay with young people right now.
That one?
I think so. A couple of them are, but I don't really recognize that. Anyway.
Well, it's popular with people.
Yeah.
And it looks good. And I remember buying the first couple dirt cheap, so I ended up getting this one as well.
Okay.
So I have the first 5 volumes.
Nice. And by the way, this is what it looks like without that stupid sticker on it that I meant to take off. So, next up is the other one that I managed to watch as part of my preparation. This is one that I was stunned that we actually had in the library collection, and that was where I actually first watched it. They had randomly ordered it, even without me telling them, hey, you need to get this, because they got a letter to Momo when I told them, hey, you need to get this. But and that is a film that is also released here by G Kids called Fatima Inverted. And this is an interesting oddball. Have you seen this one yet?
I have, but it's been a while.
Yeah. So the basic gist of this one is that one day in the distant past, some scientists were goofing around, well, and they ended up screwing up gravity. They were trying to learn how to, I guess, overcome it, and they ended up screwing it up. And a lot of people and objects started gravitating, instead of the Earth, they gravitated up.
Oh.
And a lot of them, in order to remain on this Earth, went underground. And so this takes place several years down the road, where you have this very harsh, regimented society living on the ground with a very nasty, evil douchebag who's their leader. And it reminded me a lot of 1984, the way they set that up. And so you have this guy, Age, who lives in this world. Fatima is the chieftain's daughter, kind of like Nausicaa, of the people who live underground. And she is very adventurous and always getting off into mischief and everything. Yeah. And one day she accidentally falls out of the ground into the sky. And luckily grabs hold of a fence before she goes into the sky. And Age happens to be right there at the fence goofing off. And, because he's sort of also not quite fit into his own world. And they almost immediately strike up they feel a kinship for each other. And a lot of the film is interesting because they're kind of trying to learn about, neither of them had really expected this whole other world. Her mentor had gone away and left her with news of this other world. And, of course, you've got the guy in charge of his world who desperately wants to stamp out all these people, but then when he finds out one of the inverts is a cute young girl, you see his nasty, perverted streak come into play, and he has very different motives for wanting to keep her captive. And it's a very interesting film. The first time I watched it, honestly, I was sleep deprived and I missed much of the second half of the film. But I liked it. This time around I was fully awake and I got a lot more out of it. I thought it was a really good film, really interesting. And I'm very happy to have it in the collection and have seen it again.
All right, so why two biggies?
Mm.
One of them is related to the other.
Oh,
So, of course, we're going to talk about the new film, The Adventures of Captain Marvel.
yes.
This is the old serial done in 1941
Wow.
of our friend Shazam.
Shazam, Shazam.
Yes, and it's been remastered, actually, at the time. It was a Kino Lorber one, and it was released around the time that the movie was in theaters. I guess you know how it is. You capitalize on these
Right.
things. And it's kind of cool. You get all 12 chapters, which is really cool. I love having some of these serials. I've got the Batman ones, and those are pretty cool. And I've seen some of the Superman ones, which are also pretty awesome. So it's just kind of cool to have one and see where it goes. Of course, I will be wanting to know how they do this one and how it turns out.
Okay.
I mean, it looks like he's like fighting some interesting gentlemen in turbans there. So we'll see how it goes.
Some interesting gentlemen in turbans. Okay. And incidentally, I should mention both of these I watched actually the same day. I watched them this week. There was a day where I watched 4 anime in one day, and that was far and away my most productive day this week. So if you watched our video last week, you saw our rundown of what we had watched in preparation. These were additions to my list. There were a handful this week, but the other two I regrettably did not get to. And the first one I actually just bought a couple days ago, and I knew there was no way in hell I'd get to it in time, but I saw it, and on principle I felt like I had to get it. It's a film that supposedly aims to a much younger crowd, but it's supposed to be a really good one that might be worth having. And if it's something Totoro-ish, it might be very worth having. And that is the film Oko's Inn.
Ah, very
which
nice.
just got a release in theaters a couple months ago, and now it's got our release here.
Ah, I'm jealous.
G-Kids and Shout Factory. It's supposed to be a fun little movie. I know relatively little about it. I've never seen this one. I didn't get to go see it in theaters. So this one does not in any way, shape, or form qualify for this particular list. But if we ever do a follow-up, who knows? But it looks fun. It was relatively inexpensive. And I was like, gotta get it.
Gotta catch them all.
Gotta catch them all. Except for the Pokemon, strangely.
My last one is one that I really wanted to see in theaters and never got to see. It's one that got some good buzz, and DCU has gotten a lot of cool buzz lately.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like eccentric. It's not Marvel level,
Right.
but it's still way better than where they have been. And some of
That
their
wasn't
movies,
hard.
some of their movies have gotten to where they're on par with some of the lower tier Marvel movies.
Some.
I would definitely put Wonder Woman ahead of some of the Marvels.
Oh, yeah.
And I'd say Aquaman would be on par with some of the lower level Marvel ones.
Yeah. Aquaman's definitely better than Thor the Dark World.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
the Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, well, see, there you go. We're getting there. So, this is another one that I heard did really well. I don't know if you've seen this one or not.
It is
but
heading my way tomorrow from the library.
I have wanted to see this.
Shazam.
That is the Shazam movie.
That's a nice looking edition.
Yep, it's the Steelbook, which I have gotten. So far, all the DCU movies I have
Ah.
on Steelbook.
Nice.
So, I don't know why I'm collecting them on Steelbook. But you know, once
Because
you start,
they're there.
even with my limited income, I had to pre-order this because I don't know when Best Buy is going to make something scarce, or popular demand makes it scarce. Because sometimes if they look and they think, well, not many people are going to buy it, then collectors come in and we're going to just go buy. Oh, me, I'll take every one that you got. And then they're up on eBay
Yeah.
for like 3 times the price because these scalpers are scumbags.
Yeah.
If you're one of those scalpers out in the audience listening, you're a nice scumbag.
Nice scumbag. Nice.
But it's essentially this about this child who ends up stumbling upon this strange wizard who says, "Hey boy, I've got some candy out in my van." So he follows him out to the van, and it turns out instead of candy, he has superpowers. So he gives them a taste of his rod of glory, and they get that.
That's we made reference to that Simpsons episode where they point out that a stranger is just a friend you haven't met.
Yes. Then there's a couple of things. They have a motion comic that they have with it, an alternate opening and ending, some deleted scenes, gag reel, audition footage, an on-set, and a backstory of the main character.
Good times.
Yep. He is one of the few people. He is one of the few DC characters that can stand toe-to-toe with Superman.
Yeah. Of course, Shazam, to me, I'll always remember one of my favorite moments in a not exactly canon comic. I enjoyed the Injustice comics, and I really enjoyed the Injustice comic where Wonder Woman's mother, it's Hippolyta, right?
Yeah.
She has been destroyed and sent to hell. And Zeus, if I recall correctly, may have been the one, or Hera may have been the one who did it. And then Zeus does the same thing to Shazam and then to Harley Quinn. So they're all in hell. And Harley has the hots for Shazzy. But the part that I thought was hilarious was they get out of hell. They come back to life simply because Harley is too crazy. She's so crazy, hell cannot hold her. I just love that. I was like, oh man. It was proof that it's a superpower. Anyway, speaking of the powers of the mind, the last one that I'm going to present is another upgrade. I had it on DVD. I have it now on Blu-ray. Honestly, one of the things that pushed me over the edge, I actually bought it with Oko's In, was I was shocked to learn they do not have this film in my library system. And I had a copy, and I'm like, they are getting my copy now. They will. It will happen. But one of the ones I really wanted to cover for our video, and I just did not get to it, I wanted to hit all four of the feature releases by the late, great Satoshi Kon. I got to two of the four. The one I really wanted to hit that I did not, but I finally converted to Blu-ray because I could not pass up the price and the excuse to make the library take it, is the film Paprika, which is the film where he, much like Perfect Blue, he even more so than Perfect Blue, he dived head first into the idea of what is real and what is not. Specifically, in this one, a scientist invents a way to enter people's dreams, basically. So it has a little bit of an Inception feel to it as well. But basically, the invention falls into the hands of a quote-unquote dream terrorist. And this woman here, whose name escapes me at the moment, maybe it's listed there, it is not, and her alter ego, Paprika, has to save the day. I know that's really vague, but it's been a while since I've seen this movie, and it's a freaking head trip. But that's one of the reasons I wanted to see it again. But
Well,
it's
most Satoshi Kon.
it's a great head trip. It is one of the most visually stunning anime I've ever seen.
Such a cute little head trip.
Yes, such a cute little head trip. Oh, and that one also has a stupid sticker in the way. Whatever. Anyway, this is a really, really, really distinct film. There is nothing else truly like it. So if you've never seen it, you should one day have a look. And like I said, it is not expensive. I picked it up for $13 in Walmart. That's not a bad price.
It's an old enough film.
And it actually does come with some pretty nice special features. I mean, if Criterion listens to us and does that Satoshi Kon collection, hopefully I will have a need to upgrade from here. But for right now, this is a perfectly good placeholder, and it takes up a lot less space than that DVD copy.
Well,
Yep.
that's it for our pickups. I hope you've
Yeah.
enjoyed it. Tell us what you've picked up down in the comments.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, like, share, and subscribe to our channel for
Mm-hmm.
more lovely pickup videos.
Yes, indeed.
And of course, we will see you on the next one.